Hello, so today I'll be taking you through a short tutorial of downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So this is an integral part of our asana practice. So I think you've noticed by now, if you've done any asana, that you're in down dog quite a bit. To some people, you might have heard it referred to as a resting posture. It's very much an active posture, and so again, if you've experienced it, I think you know that it's not necessarily a resting pose, so it's a very active, static posture. So I want to give you a few pointers and a few tips on the correct alignment, since it's a very, very important pose. So first, we'll just start by coming into our down dog. So a lot of times you'll come in from a tabletop position. You can have the hands shoulder width distance apart, slightly in front of the shoulders. And we'll inhale to tuck the toes under. As you exhale, just bring the hips up to the sky. So we're trying to make an upside down V shape with our body. It's very important, the placement of the hands. You want to try to press all of your fingertips into the earth and then spread your hands wide. And especially the thumb and the index finger, that can be a little tricky depending on the rotation of your wrists, but it'll open up and improve over time, but trying to press the entire palm flat into the earth. And then the elbows, this rotation, you can start to see my elbows moving. As much as possible, you want to rotate the inside of your elbow to face the front. And then we'll start to bring the chest closer to the thighs. This is something over time, as your flexibility increases, that will happen. So it's a lot of upper body strength. We're pressing our hands into the earth. I'm sure you can feel the activation in the triceps and the biceps, the shoulders starting to open, at the same time activating. And then bringing the hips up higher to the sky is something that will help to lengthen your spine. So when you think of just sticking and tilting the pelvic bone up to the sky, naturally the spine will start to straighten a little bit more. And you want to engage the belly by scooping it into the spine. And then the legs. So the back side of the hamstrings, everyone's flexibility will be a little different. If your heels are up here, it's okay. It's just something, again, that over time, as you practice, will improve. But you want to think of pressing your heels down into the mat. And the longer you're here, the more the body will start to open. If you have tight hamstrings, one thing that I will offer is you can actually bend the knees, because sometimes when the hamstrings are so tight, it actually prevents us, it keeps us from having the maximum extension of the spine. So just by bringing a micro bend into the knees, you can help to extend that spine a little bit more. So for example, if you have tight hamstrings, maybe it's harder to get that V shape, but simply adding a bend and then bringing the chest closer to the thighs, like so, can help achieve the flat spine. And then over time, just be patient, and you can slowly, as your practice progresses, maybe straighten the legs, and then maybe the heels will come closer to the mat someday. But don't get discouraged if you're not there yet. Remember, we all start at different levels. And there's one other thing I want to show you. So the width or the distance of your down dog, there's a very simple way to just check if you're in the right alignment, and it's just to do a plank check. So the width of our downward dog with our hands and our feet should be the same width as our high plank. So if you come into your down dog and you're not sure, simply roll forward into your plank. So if you need to readjust a bit, either scooting forward or backwards, go ahead and do so. Inhale, exhale to downward facing dog. Now you know you have the proper length of your down dog. And so I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and see you again on the mat.